Thank you very much, Senator Blumenthal. Thank you for those words, Senator Graham. I'm a strong believer in we can talk about this and have hearings and keep reminding people that we need to get things done, but until we change the law, these are no longer companies that started in a garage with two guys tinkering around with platforms or computers or in their college dorm room, okay? This is real lives that are getting lost, and I really appreciate, Mr. Behart, that you are willing to come forward and testify. I'm going to focus on one area that I don't think we've talked about enough, and that is the platform's inability and refusal to take down sites that are selling dangerous drugs. Recently, the DEA found that 1/3 of drug cases had direct ties to social media. I was just in Minnesota with a mom, Bridget, who lost her kid, and the kid literally ordered one pill, as we say, one pill kills, on the internet, thinking it was something else. It was laced with fentanyl. As the mom said, as Bridget said, all of the hopes and dreams we as parents had were erased in the blink of an eye, and no mom should have to bury their kid. That's why Senator Durbin and I and others on this committee have been working with Senator Shaheen and Marshall, as well as Senator Grassley, on this bill that has come through this committee already and needs to go to the floor, along with a number of other bills we've talked about, to require social medias, companies, to report fentanyl and other dangerous drug sales on their platforms. In the words of our DEA administrator, they have basically, the cartels, who don't really care if people die or not, because no one knows it, in Mexico and China have basically harnessed these platforms. Do social media companies have the correct incentives to identify and eliminate drug sales to kids?
Thank you for the question and the concern on all of those important things. Until there is disclosure of what kids experience as drug content, sexual content, until there is transparency about these things, I don't know what the incentive is, which is why I think transparency is so essential. You know, as parents and grandparents, we see it, we understand it, we know how frequent it is. That's what the numbers I have to share. And if I would want one thing for everybody here to know, is that when we talk about any category that you care about, for example, drugs, and then when the company talks about that category, they're likely talking about a fraction of a percent of what we as a society are experiencing.
Exactly. And we all know there's a lot of other things to do with fentanyl, including at the border, but this would be a major game changer for the ability to take these cases on. Prosecutors have also reported an emerging trend where offenders collect photos of children that may fall just shy of the definition of child pornography and distribute them on websites with the intent to harass or abuse the child victims. And there was a major story on this in the Washington Post. Senator Cornyn and I have a bill, the SHIELD Act, to fill in gaps in federal law so that prosecutors can hold those who abuse kids in this way accountable. In your role as a person at Facebook who was responsible for efforts to keep users safe, can you talk about the deficiencies in current policies?
Thank you for the question. If you look at content that sexualizes minors, again, the question is that something that actually violates company policy and would be removed, and is that what the company is acting on? Or does it end up being something that, because it is content that the company does not act on, they actually end up recommending and distributing, right? And as a parent, we see this, right? If you were to look and open the app and look for it, you can find it. And then if you like it, you get recommended it. And these are all things that the company is, I believe, aware of in terms of reach and can do things about, and have chosen not to do so.
Okay. Very good. I think I was listening to Senator Graham, and he's right that there's one big thing we can do is to allow these cases to go forward in court. But I also think some of these things I'm discussing actually makes it easier for people to proceed with these cases and create incentives. And one thing I add, I'll ask it on the record, is that Senator Coons, Senator Cassidy, and I think Senator Blumenthal's involved, have a bill to allow independent researchers to look at the algorithms that are designed in a way that manipulates these kids and can lead to their deaths, to require these digital platforms to give independent researchers access to data. And I just, yes or no, I figure you think this would be helpful? Yes. Okay, very good. Just again, thank you. And we can, again, talk about this all we want, and we'll remember you and your story. But until we get these things and are allowed floor time by both sides and can maybe put them together into one package, we're just not going to get the solutions that we need, because just getting mad at these platforms haven't changed their conduct.
Thanks, Senator Klobuchar.